Welcome to the last Shoot Me Straight episode of this year, 2024. I believe it's episode 101.
Yep.
Which I can't believe it's been right at 2 years. We've done this.
It's pretty crazy.
And we've been pretty consistent every week.
I don't think we've missed one.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Especially with our schedules.
Yeah.
We've made it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's let's start off with Dan Crenshaw. Let's get right there to it.
Oh.
Tell me about
Dan.
that lovely man.
I think Dan's going through some problems right now. I think he's going through some mental problems for sure. I don't know what's going on in his life, but yeah, he. I mean, you obviously. I don't know if we've talked about that video I put out on this podcast before, but
Well, just a little bit of background. So he's congressman in Texas.
yes.
And then when you were going through your stuff, from what I remember, he was really two-faced, where he would be like saying stuff to you, but then was trying to get people to sign petitions against you.
Basically, he played the politician during my whole thing. He was asked to help me by other SEALs because he was a SEAL himself, and my brother went and was asking him, and he basically didn't do much. He drafted a letter saying to keep me in prison, but to just let me see my lawyers, which was rights I already should have had. But there was 50 other congressmen who signed a different letter saying to get me out of prison, so I could properly defend myself.
But you didn't hold that.
No,
anything.
that didn't bother me. Because one, I knew he's a politician, and he was also an officer, so I was like, who knows what's being told to him, or what what little white lies are being fed into his ear at the time. But yeah, that didn't bother me. What bothered me was after I got out, after all the whole trial and everything, is I found out from a bunch of other congressmen that he was actively working against me and trying to keep me in prison, and pretty much wanted me to go away for life. But he was telling the American people, he was telling people where it would benefit him, that he was helping me, right? So he's like a kite flyer, whichever way the wind's blowing, oh yeah, I'm in that direction. So that really stung a little bit, because it was like, dude, you're lying, like, out of both sides of your mouth at this point. And so I actually left that alone and never said a word about it until about 2 or 3 years later. Him and Goggins got into some beef, and Goggins sent me a text message Dan had sent him, pretty much, and Dan was calling me a piece of shit, pretty much everything, and then, but he was also stating in there, I did everything in my power to help that dude. He's a piece of shit. So at that point, I was like, okay, this has gone too far. So I just put out a video stating everything that he did, and I had the receipts to back it up. I provided all the documents so people could see.
That was like 2 years ago.
That was maybe a little less than 2
year and a half.
Yeah, and that's the last thing I said about it. Never said a word. And just recently, last week, the Anti-Hero podcast guys put out a clip just saying, hey, let's try and get Crenshaw, Gallagher, and Goggins on the podcast together. And they were sort of being serious. They were like, let's have them hash this out. And all I did, I commented, I was like, anytime.
Yeah.
Because I still stand behind that. I'm like, dude, anytime this guy wants to sit down and have a man-to-man conversation about his decision-making process during that time, or why he said the things he did, and just, really just take accountability, and it would be done. But instead, Dan's got some pretty thin skin, and he saw that post, I guess, and then he went on a tirade on Instagram and Twitter, and once again calling me, a piece of shit. I'm a clown. My reputation is horrible in the teams. Blah blah blah. Right, just attacking my character in every way. He also And this is like, that's just, between me and him. And I'm just like, okay, whatever, dude. I didn't call, I didn't say anything disparaging about you. I just showed the facts. I never once have come out and called you a piece of shit or anything like that. I do have my thoughts on him, but I'm like, if any disparaging remarks were to be said, well, I'll say it to your face. I'm not gonna say it on social media.
You're not a keyboard warrior.
Yeah, because that's a coward, right? But he also, I think he's having some mental issues, man, because he's obviously been accused of insider stock trading.
I didn't know
And it's been proven that he has.
that. Which is most Congress, I believe, right?
Yeah, I guess supposedly he's pretty high up there. And then he was the one pushing for a raise for Congress.
Yeah,
last
aren't
week.
they at like $1.50 and was trying to go to $2.30 or something like that?
I think, or like I heard $1.80. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think he was getting blasted for asking for a raise when he's making so much money on insider stock trading. And his last campaign where he ran, I think it cost $4 million, which is a lot for a congressional campaign. But he funneled all that money through his wife's consulting company. So that right there is kind of unethical as well. I think everything's coming down on him right now.
Mm.
I think and here's the thing, man, like, I hope that dude gets some mental help that he needs, because I truly believe he's probably been under who knows how much pressure, but that pressure was brought upon himself. These are the consequences of your actions. And I'm not sympathizing or empathizing him with any way, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you can see the stuff that he's tweeting or posting and here's the other thing he did, which I think is pretty childish. He reached out to friends of mine that own different companies and told them that they're not allowed to be friends with me anymore, or, they can't take pictures with me. I mean, and these people called me immediately afterwards and were laughing like, dude, this guy has lost it. And then he was also texting another friend of mine and this is also petty, but like making fun of, my wife, my brother, saying bad things about that, which if there's a line to cross with me,
Yeah.
you just crossed it,
Yeah.
dude. You can attack me all day long. You start messing with my family. So, I was posting, I was just resharing everything that he was posting and sort of showing people like, this is who he is right here. This is who you voted for. And again, I'll stand by the statement that I put in my video. Just because somebody is a Navy SEAL or got wounded in action does not make them a good person, does not make them a hero in any sort of way. And I think, people are waking up to this guy's true character. I think the lies that he's told so many that he can't keep up. And I think Cat Williams was right at the beginning of the year. Everything will get exposed in 2024, and unfortunately for him, 2024 is not over yet, and I think he is getting exposed for who he is. And as much as I don't like the guy, I don't wish any ill will on him or his family, because I know he's got a wife and kid. But at the end of the day, if you are a man, like he says he is, then own up to the things that you've done, and it would be that simple. Just be like, hey, I made mistakes, because I know I'm human as well, and I make plenty of mistakes, and I'll own up to them when I do. And I think that is part of the reason why he's sort of unraveling right now, because I don't think his ego will let him own up to some of the mistakes that he's made.
You think if he said, and it's open invitation, if he was like, I'll come on, shoot me straight, I'll hash it out with you and,
Yes.
talk through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would go on whatever, the anti-hero one if you wanted to. I think even Carl Higbee from OAN put out an invite last week as well, to have both of us come on.
Yeah.
Which that was his response to that was he texted Carl and sat there and berated my wife and brother and me on it. He's like, who knows how long of a thread. But, you know, and that just shows right there, man. It's like, if you can't come on and have a conversation about the alleged things that you're being accused of, or that I'm accusing you of, which I have receipts to back it up, then, yeah, not only are they true, but you have put yourself in a corner now that you can't get out of. And I think there's only two ways to go when you do that, is either lash out like a petulant child, which he was doing, or come and own up to it, and let's have this conversation, and let's put it behind us.
Would you respect that if he came up and was like, you know what, I was wrong, I did this,
All
I
day.
was playing?
Yes, I've done that with other guys, you know, that thought a certain way, and they were, you know, and I showed them the facts, they were like, dude, I apologize. That's all it is. I'm not looking for him, you know, I'm not looking for anything else. It's just accountability.
Yeah, and you don't even have to show anything. I mean, you know, like, he knows. He knows he said both sides. He knows.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's, you know, I did do a post. I reposted that video the other day, and I just said on there, I was like, in one side, you know, one side of your mouth, you're saying that you tried to help me, and then the other side, you're calling me a war criminal and everything else. So which one is it? You can't believe that I'm a war criminal, and you tried to help me. Like, and that's where I'm like, you've told too many lies at this point. So, yeah, pettiness, dude.
Pretty petty.
It's
Well, what I don't understand, and I just think if I've lied and I've screwed up, which I screw up all the time.
We all do.
You know, coming to and going, you know what, my ego, my pride, I didn't want to say anything, I screwed up, I'm sorry. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really that simple, you know, and going, man, I'm going to learn from this, I'm going to grow. But if I don't do that, then I don't grow. It gets worse.
Yeah, it's just gonna
know.
fester. Yeah, and I think that's, you know, what's happening with him is it just looks like these tweets and posts he's doing they're getting posted at like 1 or 2 in the morning, where I'm sure he's up all night drinking, because these don't come off like a statesman. You are a congressman, dude. You represent your whole district, all your constituents, and this is how you're portraying yourself in the public, on social media, or tweeting like that. That is somebody that's going through something, and he, like I said before, I think he needs help. And, you know, I think until he owns up to what he did, that, you know, it's not gonna get him, he's not gonna go far, because he can't keep pushing like you just talked about. If you don't run up to it, it's just gonna keep festering, and it's not gonna go anywhere. And, you know, and guess what? The internet will always win, because they will dig into whatever you're saying over and over. So, yeah, it's crazy. And
well, I wish he would. I wish he would say, hey, you know what, I'll sit down, or hey, it doesn't even have to sit down with you, but would go, you know what, these facts are right, they're correct, I screwed up.
yeah,
And I mean, I can respect that. You can respect that when someone does that and they admit that they're wrong and they go, my pride, my ego were in the way.
Yeah.
I relate to that.
I relate to it because I'm the same way.
Exactly.
It's like, we're the same.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I make mistakes all the time because of my pride and ego. I'm a man.
Yeah.
But I also, you know what makes you a man, though, is realizing that you made that mistake and going back and apologizing and saying, hey, I was wrong, and this is why I did it.
How many times have you done that with your wife and kiddos?
On a daily basis.
Really, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
But you know what, though, man? I used to not do that. I used to never apologize for anything when I made, and that was because I wasn't a man.
No.
I was in the SEAL teams, but I wasn't a man.
No.
I was, you know, it took me, I would, you know, do something stupid, and it would just take me weeks to even acknowledge the fact that I did something stupid because my ego and pride would not let me,
Yeah.
you know.
Which is a sucky place to be.
It's horrible, because it's like those 2 weeks aren't fun. You're walking around with like a weight of guilt and shame in you, and then you can't even give yourself enough grace to like go and apologize, you know, and just get it over with. It was like one of the most difficult hurdles for me at the time, is being able to allow myself to do that.
Yeah. That's
Which,
wild.
thank goodness I have
Good family.
good family, forgiving family.
Speaking of, I heard you got a tattoo.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got
Seen
tatted
it.
up for Christmas right there.
Okay. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, probably one of the coolest Christmas gifts. My daughter, Ava, she called a couple weeks ago and she's like, this is what I want to do. I want to get matching tattoos. And she's pretty much, she wanted me to write I love you, and then she did the same thing. We got them tatted. So yeah, we went and did that the other day.
It's her handwriting too, right?
Yep.
And yours is hers.
Yeah.
Can she even spell your? I mean, is yours like eligible?
Wrote with crayon.
I love you.
You love. No, we went to a tattoo artist in PCB that she went to high school with.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, she did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That's
cool.
pretty
That was her first one too. Hopefully only one.
That's really endearing, especially your only daughter.
Oh, dude, there's like nothing more, I don't know, as a dad, you know, I don't know, well, it depends on what you think about tattoos, but as a dad, I'm like, dude, that is like the sweetest thing,
Yeah.
you know.
Your daughter wants "I love you,"
Yeah.
know, from her dad tattooed on her. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Winning.
Winning.
Yeah.
Winning in life. That's right. That's awesome. So how was Christmas? How was holidays at the Gallagher's?
It was alright, you know,
Y'all opened presents on.
we opened presents yesterday on Christmas Day, yeah, morning.
Y'all
Yeah,
don't do any on Christmas Eve?
we opened one.
Okay.
I have a tradition where I get the big Lego set usually. So last year I got the Office Lego set. It was like the whole Office show.
Are you into Legos?
Dude, I love Legos.
Oh,
man.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's the only thing that cures my ADD, dude. I'll sit there and just like focus on trying to get it done as fast as possible. So yeah, they opened that.
One of the dogs knocks it over.
Usually, some will happen to it eventually, but yeah. And then we did Christmas Saturday morning. We had the whole family back. So Trevin's back from the Marines,
That's
Ava's
pretty
back from school, and we got her boyfriend Luke staying with us.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a full house again, which was kind of cool, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing makes you feel older though, dude, than when you're like, oh, we're gonna have a full house of kids again. Like I feel like my
Yeah.
parents now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Now you're the parent.
Yeah.
Of all the full house. Because all of them were out except for Ryan. And now have them
Yeah.
all back.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. They're all getting along and just having a good time. How about you?
We do I think stockings the night before, and then friends' parents come down. And we had all the our kids are 4, 6, 8, and 10, so they're super into Christmas right
Oh
now.
yeah, dude,
So,
that's a prime age.
yeah, they all understand it. They all very much know about presents, and half of them believe in Santa, but half of them don't, and they just pile in. And then, I mean, that morning, they get up about 5:30 in the morning, and then it's just, oh my God, presents,
I
and
remember
they're
those
jumping on
days.
our beds, and I love it. You know, it's real tiring during this time, but like I love it. I'm eating it up, and then we go down there, and then Bertie and Pear, Kim and Kenny, they come, and then we all open their presents. Now her whole family's moved down here. I mean, and possibly even her granddad too. Have you noticed that too? When you have family that comes and visits, they're like, "What is this place? This is beautiful. This is such a cool."
That's anybody that comes and visits here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's been awesome this past week too. Like the weather, it's been great.
Y'all go on the beach at all?
Yeah, they went yesterday. They went on a walk.
Yeah.
I run along the beach every morning.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't do the trails though, do you?
every once in a while, I'll go down and do the trails when I feel like switching it up. I've done like
You get lost back there.
you can, which I have. And I've looked at my watch and I'm like, dude, I ran 12 miles. You know, and I'm like, I was only planning on doing like a 6-miler, but
Yeah.
because I got lost, I was running all over the place. But yeah, the trails are awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, this place is perfect. It's
Right.
a running path that goes right along the beach.
Oh,
Yeah. What
pretty magical place.
So we're finishing up 2024.
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals, personal goals for 2025?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to start a new software platform, one for business. Spend my goals this year, the ones that I set last month, I try and set them in November, and so that way December is really that time that I'm thinking about them and like preparing for them. One is I have some like personal like workout type stuff, but a big one of mine is taking my kids like individual time this next year.
Yeah.
At least once a month. I'd rather set it. It's kind of like when we started the podcast. We were like, man, we could do the podcast whenever, but we're like, let's set once a week.
Yeah.
You know, it's doable. So I'm gonna say once a month that I am taking an individual, taking them out on their own for the day, and just spending individual time with them.
That's awesome.
It's pretty easy to have them all the time, and then not spending individual time with them and just listening to them.
Well, they get your undivided attention.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with kids, kids want to do good for you. Like they want, but a lot of times when you have all of them all the time, you end up just being like, stop that, don't do this. Like,
Well, yeah.
You know, and so
They're animals.
they're feral. And so I did that with my daughter, my oldest, the other day, and had the talk with her.
What talk?
The talk. She's
How old is she?
about to be 11. So I was like, I wanted to hear
What
from
talk are we
us.
talking about?
We're talking about the birds and the bees.
Oh, dang, dude.
I know.
11 years old?
Well,
I
at
guess
11,
that's-
I was.
yeah.
I already knew way more than I should.
Well,
have
yeah,
at
that is
11.
true as well.
Of course, the Pamela Anderson Playboy edition didn't help with that
Yeah.
for me.
That's what thank God for Playboy. That's how I learned.
Yeah, I wanted to be the one to talk to her about it. I mean, I didn't go to real specifics, but in general, and then was telling her, hey, you can always come and talk to me. You can talk to me or mom at all times about this stuff. Like, I just want her to. My goal is then to be open to come and share.
And that's important.
Yeah,
so they're not scared to share anything with you.
yeah.
Be wary of that though, because we have that relationship with our kids, and we
You're like, whoa,
some,
all right.
some of the shit that they tell us, I'm like, dude, I don't want to hear this.
It's like the politician comedy where they sit around the table and he's like, okay, this is a free open space.
Yeah.
He's just like, I touched myself. Did you carry? Yeah. I'm.
It's all good though, man. Like even the crazy stuff, I'm like, cool. Like
Yeah.
it's better to have that open relationship like that, because I
Did
wasn't
you?
like with our
Yeah.
kids.
Did you have the talk with them, or did Andrew?
I mean,
You don't remember?
I don't really remember. I'm pretty sure. Not like the talk like, hey, this is how it works. I just had more of the talk like,
If someone does
Don't.
this is how you kill them.
get anybody pregnant, and don't get pregnant
Yeah.
until you're married,
Yeah.
and then wait. My whole thing was like, wait to get married until you're like 27, 28. I'm like, without your 20s, have fun. But that's just my own personal. I don't think that's like solid advice. Yeah, I mean, at that point, I'm pretty sure iPhone already
Yeah.
explained everything to them.
You're like, I'll take everything you own.
And then we bring no baby kids around here. Not until we get everybody out of the house.
I got 3 girls. That's what scares me. But the John Dutton from Yellowstone, when he does a speech in it and says, with boys, he goes, with girls you try and keep them from getting screwed, and he goes, with boys you try and keep them from screwing themselves.
Yeah.
I love that. You know, which I think he's off this next season, huh?
He's been off. We finished it's over.
Yeah.
I think. The last season was alright. I was like, it just wasn't the same.
Who was your favorite out of that whole cast?
I mean, I liked Kevin Costner. I liked his character a lot. Obviously, Rip is more like a fictional frickin' man character where like this dude is like never bothered by anything. It's just like, oh, alright, giving solid advice every time he talks. Like, who is this guy? But I do like, his character is awesome.
Did you like Casey?
Not
as much, did you?
Dude, he was kind of sensitive, dude. Like, and then he was supposed to be a SEAL, and I don't know. He was all right.
Yeah.
He pulled through in the last season. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't watched it.
It's alright. I already know it dies. But dude, yeah, I would picture you like in John Dutton, and then also I'd picture you and Andrea both just loving Beth.
Oh, Beth is definitely, that's Andrea all day right there.
Dude.
Do not mess with that woman. Yeah.
That's so good.
It's 2025, so you're gonna spend time with the kids.
Yeah.
And
spend time
start
with
a
kids.
new platform.
Start a new platform. Do some really cool business stuff. Take this podcast hopefully to another level. Get some really incredible guests in.
Yeah, I think that's should be our goal for next year, is just get more.
Get some sponsors and stuff too, but honestly, if there could be one thing to choose for Shoot Me Straight, it would be to get unshadow banned from YouTube at some point.
Are we shadow banned?
Dude, it's so bad.
Why?
We get it. I have no idea. They don't tell you. I reached out to them a bunch, but I don't know. We don't get the views that we should, and they don't get recommended like they should.
Huh.
We even had that team come in and like redo all our tags and everything, but I would say some really incredible guests. We just started our Rumble channel too.
Nice. I think we'll get. Yeah, I'm looking forward to 2025, man.
Yeah.
I'm like super optimistic.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a good year for everybody.
Yeah.
Wait for January 20th.
I am too.
Get some leaders up back in that White House, and start pushing this country back in the direction it should have been going in.
I thought the world was coming to an end, though. I mean, that's what some people.
The world's over. It's always, even when that's the thing. I'm like, even when Trump takes office, we're still going to be going through some BS.
Yeah, for sure.
We got a lot of stuff to undo, but I think as long as we have a good leader at the helm who's navigating us through rough waters, I'm like, great.
No.
That is all I need is to feel optimistic about next year. Yeah.
So if Trump comes to you and says, "Hey, I want you to be, I don't know, some high-level position," would you be like, you'd have to consider.
I am unqualified. And like, I like all of your other candidates that you appointed. I'm like, you definitely don't want me. No, I mean, yeah, that'd be awesome, but yeah, I mean, I like all the people he appointed, and I think, it'll be good. Then I got, the training business is already, dude, my next 3 months are
insane.
Yes, stacked, which is good. I'm blessed, like, to have that, but yeah, it's gonna be busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be good. Yeah. If people want to, if they want you to come train them for something, they just reach out to Pipe Hitter, or do they reach out to?
No, I have the EddieGallagher.com. You can go on there and click on training, and then all you gotta do is fill out the questionnaire of like what specifically that you want done, and then we set up a time and date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People want to get like shot by you with the beanbag guns or something like. Have you ever seen those?
No.
They're,
Is that like
they'll
YouTube?
have, yeah, like they'll have. I want to get choked out by a Gracie, or I want to get shot by Eddie Gallagher with like a beanbag gun or something.
Sure. How much are you gonna pay me to do it?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, I do have some. I think I just got a text on the way over here about some YouTubers that want to like do stuff, but I don't know if I'm
Is it
gonna.
the Beast Games?
Oh, I don't. I literally have no clue about any YouTubers. I have to go. I told him to send me the list of names, so I'll go run and buy my kids when I get home
Yeah.
to see which ones. Because I'm like, dude,
They're
I'm too old, bro.
They qualify you.
Yeah, I'm like, I definitely, yeah. I'm out of that realm, so I have no interest in trying to figure out who's who on YouTube.
Yeah.
So.
You're not into YouTube gaming.
No, I still don't understand how these kids can watch other
Other
kids play. Like, this is the boringest thing I could imagine. Like, I remember growing up, because I didn't grow up with any Nintendos or PlayStations or anything.
You had Atari in the beginning, didn't you?
No,
No.
we weren't allowed to have any game systems. So I'd go to my friend's house
Yeah.
and play theirs, but it would drive me nuts watching them. I was like, dude, I want to play.
Yeah.
But now you get these kids like watching other kids play.
Uh,
But that's like, I'm too old to even comprehend
yeah. It's pretty wild.
the fun in that.
It's whole different game. Awesome. Well, any plans for you this next year? What's your goals?
Let's see. Well, my goal is always is work on myself so I can be a better person. There's always some stuff that I need to work on. And then just continue to work hard and make money for my family.
Yeah.
And just be a provider and protector. And I really don't have any huge, bigger aspirations in that. I want to get this podcast, keep doing this, see if get this to grow.
Some big guess.
Yeah. But
I need some, man, when we have guests with incredible stories, that to me is those times when I'm like, oh, this is why we do this.
yeah, at the top of your head, who was one of your favorite guests this past year?
I think you probably know. It's Jimmy Watson's up there.
Yeah,
man.
he was.
And
He was
people that can
incredible.
tell an incredible story too. Russell was really fun. Russell showed me a lot when we did it with him. And as I've gotten to know him a lot better, it's like there's levels to this game is what I was thinking of.
There's levels to anything that you do.
And he is really good.
He is definitely a black belt in being able, off the cuff, like, boom,
Yeah.
you're on, and he'll start talking, and there's people like that. Like I went to that Tucker Carlson event
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago with Sean Ryan, and watching Tucker like just get up there and give a speech,
Yeah.
it was like, dude, I would have had to like prepare for like 3 hours, and he's just like wham, 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 like, But I think that's the more you do it too. But I mean, obviously, those guys are at such a high level of
Yeah.
being able to perform, like, on,
Yeah, Russell said something to me pretty interesting the other day. He goes, some people, when the camera hits them, they get smaller. And they get quieter, they get, in their head. And he goes, some people, when the camera hits them, like me, they get bigger. And he goes, and then there's some people that completely stay the same. He's like, the people that completely stay the same are so much fun to have on camera because they don't even think anything about,
yeah,
like, a camera's being on them or not. I thought that was pretty interesting. He probably has a lot of experience behind different people on cameras, like behind cameras.
I'm sure.
I probably get smaller. I probably get more
You
apprehensive.
think so? I don't know.
I'm
I
trying
don't
to
know what I
get
do.
I'm trying to get more used to it. You're probably a lot more used to it than me,
I am.
and you've had a lot. You've had
I think I'm in the middle
Bigger.
where I'm going to be myself.
Yeah.
And you don't like it, don't like
Think-
it. Yeah. Good on you.
awesome.
Well, good, man. Well, I'm looking forward to 2025. It'll be a good year,
Yeah.
and for those of you that are listening to this podcast right now, we appreciate you all. Seriously, we are going to have some awesome guests this next year. We continue to grow this thing. Please continue to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube and Rumble now.
Twitter,
We appreciate you
Instagram.
guys.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
All right, God bless. Out.